In today's video, I am going to be breaking down the Miami Heat's inbounds plays that they use that you can use as well. These can get you some easy baskets near an end of the game or during the middle of the game as well. So let's get down. Let's check this out. But really quickly, if you want to have an unbeatable basketball zone defense, make sure to go check out the Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book down in the description below because it doubles the low post and traps the corners without leaving any players open. So let's get down. Let's check out these sideline inbounds plays. Okay, so this is actually almost like a decoy because everyone's going to be focusing on these guys up top and not necessarily these two guys in the bottom. A lot of these plays that are set up like this will be a back screen here for this player who will then, of course, use that screen. Depending on which side he goes on, it doesn't necessarily matter in this case, but that's usually what happens. And then usually what will happen too is we will see this guy pop out, and then leave the back door wide open for the lob to this guy. However, that is not what happens in this play. What happens in this play is we see Jimmy Butler, he goes up and around this screener. They've got 2 seconds left. They're down by 2. Miami leads the series by 2 games. They can ice it right here, or at least tie it up. And that's exactly what they do. They do a quick curl cut around that screener. They send up the lob to Jimmy Butler, and Jimmy Butler ties the game up with less than a second left on the clock. So this is actually very simple to actually run. So for example, we'll have this guy who's disappeared on the other side of the court. Player 1 who's going to be basically a decoy setting the screen for the backdoor cut. But we're going to be having player 5 set that screen in the low post. Player 2 is going to curl around. He has to get really super close to the shoulders of player 5 so that he can get his man attached to him. And obviously if this man, his defender, let's say, is getting stuck on that screen or just cheating, knowing what's happening, player 2 could pop out instead of curling because, of course, then that cut is not open as player 2 is cheating. So player 2 could pop out for the 3-point or mid-range shot. However, what we see here is player 2 tried to follow Jimmy Butler over that screen, and Jimmy Butler then cut back. Nice lob pass over to Jimmy Butler, which allowed them to get that layup. It's a super simple play. You can actually make a lot of different plays out of this. One very, very similar play that I've actually seen and I actually drew up in the middle or near an end of a game was this one where we had player 1 set a screen for player 3. Player 3 used that screen. I'm more of a 3-point shooting type of coach off of an inbounds. That's just me personally. And then I actually drew up player 2 curling around his man as a backup option to player 3. We had to make these decisions in the split second. Player 4 had to make a decision. Player 3 is not open. I need to do a lob. Or player 3 is open. I need to make that pass. Well, player 2's man, if I remember this correctly, was cheating, and player 2 curled around. And then player 3, however, was wide open for the 3. We missed the 3. I think it went off the back or front of the rim, but it's still a very similar play as to what Miami was running. And you could obviously run this play as well. Now this next play is actually a box inbounds, which is hilarious because we run box inbounds with the youngest of teams or even the oldest of teams. These are inbounds that can be ran with anybody. We have a screen set across the key in the low post, and then that player uses that screen, but this screener pops out. He rolls off of that screen, and these 2 guys right here, they move so that they're a staggered screen on this guy's defender. Well, this guy's defender, guess what? He was hung up trying to communicate with his teammate. Wasn't very fast communication because he was left wide open without the screeners really needing to screen anybody. And he was wide open, but they didn't pass it to him. What they were looking for was the back screen, slightly back screen anyways, or the miscommunication here. Maybe that was the whole plan here. Maybe there was just so much miscommunication on the Rockets defense where the Miami Heat just said, we don't even need to screen because these guys just don't know what's going on. And that's exactly what happened. It left the backdoor cut dunk wide open. And of course, they iced the game with a dunk. The game-winning dunk is everything that you've always wanted. But let's say you actually had a team that knew how to play defense and communicate on defense. This is a massive thing. I was yelling at one of my teams that I coach about communication on defense because you absolutely need it, and clearly NBA teams still don't do it right. So the screen sets, if there's good communication, they would either say switch or fight, one or the other. Either way, player 3's man should still be on him, but I would assume that this would be option number 1, as that would be screen number 1. Next, player 5 is going to set up, and 1 is going to set up as a staggered screen. Player 2 is going to use that staggered screen, and hopefully his man gets caught on a screen. If they do, guess what? He's wide open for a 3-point shot. However, there's a dual-edged sword to this. If player 2 was to get this ball, if there's enough time on the clock, and he was covered for the shot, we would still have player 1 set that back screen on player 5, and this could still be a lob. However, if player 2 is not open or they decide not to pass to him, this screen will still happen. This back screen on 5, no communication means no switch. To be honest with you, if I was a coach, I would be saying in the last second or even last 5 seconds of a game, and you've got literally tie game or like maybe only up by 1 or down by 1, guess what? I am switching everything. I am the type of coach who will say, you fight through everything, or you ice a screen, or you blitz a screen, or you do something. Well, guess what? If there's 5 or 8 seconds left, I'm saying switch everything. If there's 1 second left, guess what? If it's an on-ball screen, I'm blitzing that. Last second, I'm blitzing that screen. If that blitz doesn't happen, or if it's an inbounds play like this, I'm switching everything. I do not want anything open to get that ball in. I do not want that ball on the court. I want that to time out, and I want that to be a turnover. Anyways, these are fantastic inbounds plays that you can run with your team. Make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that is down in the description below, and I'll see you guys again in my next video.